Daddy, show these Umis how to paint checkers and dirty white.
I'm on it, boss. And starting with the weathered white first, I'll use Wraithbone. You'll want 2 or 3 thin coats to get that nice smooth finish. I use 3, and on a colour like this, using 3 thin coats will just avoid any chalkiness. Next up is a pure white edge highlight. This doesn't have to be super neat because we're going to be roughing it up with weathering in a minute anyway. Now I'm using dirt spatter and edge highlighting again, but missing bits on purpose to fake chipping. On smaller parts like this, a brush works better than a sponge. I'm using the same dirt spatter here again, but thinned right down this time. That means I can shade the recesses, dirty up the rivets and add some streaking grime too. One paint can fill multiple roles when you thin it differently.
Time for a pro tip, Daddy.
Oh, go on then. So tap a drop of thin paint under a rivet or into a recess, then pull it down into a streak. Starting from that bead gives you a much more natural grime effect.
And to finish the look, take some whites and do a boop on each rivet.
Perfect. Now let's freehand the checkers with the same thinned Wraithbone. Start with your centre line first, then build it out with parallel lines either side. Now repeat the same process across the other way to map out the squares. Then fill in every alternating square with Wraithbone. 2 thin coats is usually enough here. We all make little mistakes when freehanding, and that's absolutely fine. That is why the Emperor gave us black paint. So go back in with your armour colour and clean up the lines and neaten up any squares.
Time for another tip, Daddy.
Yeah, of course. So if you want to improve your freehand, start with a good brush. You want a sable brush with a really sharp tip and a nice big belly to hold plenty of paint, because paint drying out is the enemy here. The other big thing is anchoring on. Grip closer to the ferrule, brace your painting hand against your other hand, and that'll help reduce shaking and stopping slips. You can even practice on your hand first like I'm doing here, and aim for one smooth continuous line when possible. Finally, if your freehand went over any rivets or recesses, just use that thin down dirt spatter to finish off the freehand. Well, there you go, Frankie, what do you think?
Not bad for Umi, Git.
Yeah, thanks, I guess. Anyway, the army's coming together for little Frankie slowly but surely. On the next episode, I'm going to cover gore. It's super satisfying and really quick. So if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you give me a follow. And as always,
Thanks for watching.